Well, thanks for joining us. If you guys are coming on for the first time and you have never been on to a Shoply Zoom or to a Snapshot or anything, we're excited to have you on. So welcome and thank you for joining us. What we're going to be kind of going over today is just a big overview of what Shoply is. So hopefully the person that brought you on is kind of giving you a little bit of background information. Maybe you've gone through the invite process. So you probably have at least some understanding of what this is. And we're going to try to do a little bit of a deeper dive into kind of what the components, the pillars, what are the things that make up what Shoply is, and give you a little bit of a further education and some information so that you can make the right decisions as you're moving forward. And then hopefully give you enough information so that you can help share that with the people that you're bringing in and the people that you know. So, the main question is kind of what is Shoply and why does it exist? And Shoply is a platform. It's a SaaS platform, so software as a service. And we exist in the social commerce, live commerce, e-commerce space. And why that's so important is because it's really, as of about 10 years ago, the social commerce phrase, word, it really didn't even exist. It's a kind of a newer concept because if you think of traditional shopping, all in the past, it was in person, in a store, at a farmer's market. It was a person-to-person interaction. Occasionally, as the internet started to grow, things started to move to a more digital space. Well, in the last about decade to 15 years, this idea of social commerce has really, really taken hold. And what this is, a platform of people that are purchasing through either users, through social media influencers, through people that are connecting them. And this idea of social commerce has really, like, the trajectory of it has been astronomical. We're in 2025 now, and they're saying that it should have, by Accenture, which is one of the leading consultant platforms in globally, their prediction was that it would be 1 trillion wave of social commerce would be growing by 2025. Now that we're actually in the middle of 2025, towards the end, it'll be really interesting to see if we've hit that mark or surpassed it. My guess is that honestly, we've probably surpassed that social commerce, especially with TikTok Shop and all of those kinds of platforms, the adoption rate of social commerce is absolutely astronomical. It's the biggest in kind of the Asian APAC region. Then I think US follows, and then the EU follows right after that, which is amazing news for you guys. Coming from the EU and the UK, is that what you have before you is a proven concept that social commerce is huge and is going to continue to boom and build, but you haven't had the mass saturation that the APAC region and China and some of those areas have had. So the opportunity that's in front of you guys is immense and incredibly, incredibly large from a social commerce perspective. Accenture also did this kind of a visual and diagram that comes directly from them. What is a social commerce ecosystem, and who are the users, what makes that up, what are the components of this ecosystem? And so what they've described it as is users on a platform, so some kind of a social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, any one of those are brought to small brands and connected to small brands through influencers, creators, and resellers. And those small brands then are connected to the platforms where they're selling. So think of like Amazon, Walmart, online, all of those things make up that ecosystem. All of these components are what comprise that platform and that ecosystem to get the users and the buyers, the customers, directly to the small brands. And so all of it has been different. In the past, it used to be that the vendors were direct to the customers, right? So a customer would either go to the store themselves, they would push their cart around the shop, they would buy the things that they wanted, or they would directly go online. Well, since live commerce and social media has become a thing, there's been kind of like an insertion point, right? So you now have the influence creators and resellers that have kind of wedged themselves into that sandwich, and they now are one of the ways that users come in contact with small brands through live commerce, through social shopping, through all of those aspects. And the reason for that is because of those influencers. And Right now, vendors, merchants, big brands are recognizing that social commerce and those kinds of individuals really and truly are the central marketing pillar and engine for a whole lot of brands. And they now realize that traditional marketing for them is not the same. And the way to permeate regular markets is going to be through those social media influencers, which is why about this time last year, Amazon and TikTok kind of created a partnership together with Pinterest. And Amazon, being one of the largest fulfillment centers and distribution engines for products, realized that the live commerce side and the social media side of what they do was missing. And so what they did is they said, okay, we're going to make this partnership with TikTok to kind of bring those two unified together. And what this does for us is it proves the concept that there is a massive need and move towards people that are unifying on one platform multiple things together. And this hasn't been done in a lot of spaces because everybody kind of stands in these silos off together. And so what that does is it creates these social media influencers that are having to then go out and create those brand deals, make those kind of introductions, kind of find those products themselves. And what we see on a daily basis is these mega influencers, which are people that have 1 million or more followers. And they're the ones right now that kind of started and had the most traction to begin with. And the amount of products that so many of these mega influencers are able to move is like mind blowing when you actually look at the statistics. So if you look at these three examples, you have Stormy Steele, who on the left did $1 million in TikTok shop sales in a single day, just with her phone, just sitting there with her products and talking about the things that she loves, the things that she was paid to sponsor. And then you have the lady in the middle who is one of the most interesting to me because she literally holds the products for 3 seconds. She stands at this table, she's got people on each side of her, and she stacks up all these products and she moves them into the camera for 3 seconds, then moves them off, then moves them into the camera, 3 seconds, moves them off. And then she provides the links for them. And when she provides the links for them, people are purchasing those just because they follow her, they like her, and they want to do what she says. And if you think about that as a concept, that someone's willing to purchase over $13.7 million a week off of a 3 second flash, you'll understand the power of influence in buying, because it's not about the product. It's not about the quality. It's not about the price point. It's not about any of those things. It's because this young lady has said, you need to buy this product. I'm recommending it for 3 seconds, and people are purchasing. And so this is the influence that social media has on buying behavior now. And that's a huge thing for us to kind of recognize that this surge is happening, because as a one of the pillars within what Shoply does is social media. And what Shoply has kind of become as a platform is this unified ecosystem of synchronization between different pillars that are going to bring all of that into one space. And like I said, you have a lot of this stuff that exists out there in the world already, but it doesn't have one localized place that it all exists together and works in like synchronization and symbiosis together. And that's what Shoply is aiming to do, is kind of break apart those big brand name Amazons, Walmarts, the big corporate giants that have centralized commerce for the buyers, that have, no power in the decisions. The vendors have no power on Amazon. They're at the whim and algorithm of what Amazon and fees that Amazon dictates. And we're trying to break that apart and find ways to bring everybody under one roof, to give those vendors back the power to monetize it for the social media influencers that are looking to enter into that space and really change the face and the game of e-commerce as it exists right now. And what that looks like for the merchants and the different brands that are looking to find a space is that we're going to be providing for them the brand exposure. And for a lot of smaller brands that don't have the commercial value, that don't have the ad spend, that don't have the ability to, allocate large amounts of money to a partnership with a mega influencer, they're getting lost in the shuffle. If they do end up having a shop on Amazon, the algorithm dictates where Amazon places them. Amazon also has now started doing brand deals themselves. So anything that they're selling sometimes undercuts the vendors that have the same products, or they push their products higher up into the algorithm. So we never even see those small brands. And so they're getting squeezed out, and their ability to have exposure and eyes on is getting minimized more and more and more. And what Shoply aims to do is bringing those exposures and eyes for the products that really are fantastic to those small brands. And that's what we're going to specialize in. That's what we're going to really be able to offer them that they can't get other places. They're going to be able to leverage customers. They're going to be able to leverage an existing affiliate army that they already have, not have to worry about all the different ins and outs of, the commission structure, having to handle all that. Shoply will handle all of those things, making their experience, handling the affiliates, doing all those things much more streamlined, and they won't have to have a dedicated in-house person that they're paying a salary or an hourly wage to have to manage. And so it's really trying to have this turnkey solution for merchants that will work for them so that they can focus on the things that they really want to do, which is improving their brand, making sure that their products are top notch, great customer service. And we're going to be providing those other pieces so that they don't have to worry about some of those things. The being able to have a predictable cost of acquisition allows vendors and merchants to be much more able to have the right margins, because when you're looking at ad spend on Facebook or any of the other social media platforms, that's an upfront cost that you don't know if you'll get a return on. And so with Shoply, it's a predictable cost for them because they know exactly what their allocation is per product that they're willing to give out, and they don't pay that unless someone's ordering. And so for all of our merchants that are coming on, it's a very, very stable way for them to not have to front load a ton of money to be able to get customers and get acquisition. And so that's very, very appealing for them. And they can launch their own affiliate channels, and they don't have to worry about the management. Like I said, they don't have to worry about all of the ins and outs and that extra headache that a lot of small business owners get overwhelmed by. And so Shoply is making their process to get their products out to market much, much better and much, much easier. And one of the ways that we're doing that is a full integration with Shopify. And what that means from a global scale is it allows us to be able to piggyback into anyone that already has a Shopify vendor account, and they will then have the ability to just download an app and become a part of our ecosystem and have an affiliate army, predictable cost of acquisitions, all the things that we talked about available to them. And what that looks like from a Shopify grand scale is that they have over, I think now at this point, it's over 5 million active storefronts. So we're able to utilize the Shopify technology that's available in 175 countries and translated into 20 languages, which allows us to then be able to focus on the things that are so important for us, which is the affiliate side, which is the helping all of the sales individuals and the field to be able to be successful, rather than the back end vendor onboarding, which is to be honest, a big giant bear to have all of that translated into multiple languages, to have the currency support. So being and having that partnership with Shopify really is advantageous for us at Shoply. And what that looks like, just so you guys understand kind of the difference, what is the buckets that Shopify is and what are the buckets that Shoply is. And Shopify is an e-commerce store builder. They're in integrated payments and checkout. They do the merchant tools and backend. And Shoply is all the other things, right? So they're the brand exposure, we're the customer conversion, and we're going to help with the affiliate sales force. And so it sounds at first like, oh, these are very much one and the same, but the reality of it is it's absolutely very different. And so what it allows us to be able to do is the things that we're great at, to be able to focus on that, and then utilize the things that Shopify is fantastic at, the reason that they exist, to be able to just piggyback into what we do, rather than us having to also master and do all of those things and have those as a service. And so it's really amazing to be able to see that delineation between the two, that allows us to kind of soar and do the things that we do great. Trish, I'm going to give you a second. If there's anything you want to add about all the stuff that we kind of talked about, I'd like to bring you in to kind of center and anchor that to the UK region and the EU region that you're in charge of.
Stacey, there's a few things that I could say. First of all, all across the UK and Europe, AI, the whole thing that's happening to change the whole job world, everybody is going to have to look for alternatives. That's the first thing to say. Second thing is the direct sales world. What we're seeing is a whole bunch of leaders leaving that world. All the team builders leave that world because it's too hard. And then if I look as well, the way the world is leaning in, especially in the UK and Europe, they see it all for what it is. They see how it's been, how they've been controlled, and they're leaning in to the whole area of wealth transfer and revolutionizing. This is such the perfect time to be coming in with Chopley into the UK and Europe.
Absolutely. And that's what a lot of this is about is timing, right? So people that make true wealth, people that have the best outcome in scenarios are truly it's they found it at the right time. And so this being the beginning stages of what Shopley is, the timing of this for Europe, for UK, for anyone that comes into Shopley right now is a unique opportunity that just may not exist at other times. And so that's what I think has us all so excited is being able to be a part of this experience right now as it's kind of setting its beginning stages. So we'll move on to the next section. We've talked kind of about the big picture view of what Shopley is. And then we'll dive a little bit further into one of the aspects that we already did talk about, which was the influencer opportunity. And we talked about that from the mega influencer standpoint and the scalability of and the credit to what the industry actually is. And the way that this fits into the Shopley side of it is that the influencers that come to Shopley, they will have the opportunity to have unlimited offers. They don't have to then go out and negotiate every single brand themselves. So a lot of times as it stands right now, each influencer has to then go out and find and pick brands that they like if they have not reached out to them directly and negotiate what are the splits, what are the things that I'm going to get, what am I going to represent and do for you. And that can be incredibly overwhelming. And there's only so many brands that one person can make brand deals with. And so this allows them a platform that they'll have unlimited offers that they'll be able to curate and choose from to be able to talk about, to have a revolving door of different things on their feed for their people. They will get 100% of the incentive from the direct bonus that the merchant has offered. And so they'll be able to have full transparency in what's available, what are they getting when that product gets sold to the customers that they're bringing in. And then they have the opportunity then to bring other affiliates underneath them because right now in the industry, everybody copies everybody. You would look at the trends, you look at TikTok, everybody does what everyone else is doing that's successful. Well, when that happens to someone that is putting out the great content, is they don't get anything from that. They're basically educating their competitors on how to make sales, and none of that is beneficial to them. But what we have here at Shopley is a place that they can then bring some of those people underneath them if they're influential in the influencing industry, and they can be under them and they will be able to take advantage of that so that they can train those people and influence the influencers in their team, which is an amazing opportunity that just doesn't exist, frankly, elsewhere. And one of the things that is very, very interesting that brands have kind of made a switch to is this nano influencer concept. And because small businesses, small brands, they can't always afford, to be honest, the mega influencers. And as a whole, all of us we can see through the mega influencers, right? We know that they're talking about something because they're being paid. It's a paid sponsorship. They actually have to put that label on things now. And so the trust level of do they really like this product or are they just talking about it because it's a brand deal for them? There is a level of authenticity that nano influencers offer brands that are different. And a lot of them have made this movement now towards embracing and finding and seeking out nano influencers that can breathe a brand voice for their specific products. And the reason for that is because of the authenticity. There's a higher engagement rate with nano influencers on social media because their friends and their family trust them. And so they're willing to engage with them. They are much more apt to want to follow what their suggestion is. Same way when a friend recommends a movie to you or a restaurant. You're much more likely to go, oh, if you like it, I believe you, rather than someone else that talks about a restaurant that you don't know. You might go, oh, I don't know if it's what they're saying. And so what you'll
You
have
have
what you'll have here at Shoply is the opportunity to if you're a nano influencer and you don't have that level of experience, you'll get training here. You're going to be a part of a team. There's a whole lot of opportunity that we'll be able to train you on how to influence, how to do all of these things to break into the industry, because you won't, as a beginning influencer, have the ability to land brand deals without the following. And so this is an entry point also for nano influencers that are starting out to be able to have that opportunity. And what this looks like for them on what our Shoply 3.0 site will look like. This is just kind of an example, a mock-up of what the potential store will look like. You'll have some different brands that kind of are that you can roll through and choose based off of likes, interests, different categories. And then you'll be able to click onto a specific brand. When you click on that specific brand, you'll be able to see the different categories that they offer. You'll be able to see the different products that they offer. And it'll feel like just a very, very straightforward, minimalistic, but great marketplace so that you can view the different brands that are available, the different products, and then be able to go in and send this out as individual products to your customers and to the people or onto your social media. And so for a influencer standpoint that's looking to shop different ideas, or sorry, shop different offers to be able to offer to your audience, what this will look like, and this is off of our 2.0 website, so this one no longer exists as we move forward, but it still does show you at least the examples that we have. And what you'll have here is the share buttons that enable you to take those directly to social media, and then also the rewards. So your actual products look like this. And then as an influencer, what you would do is you'll go in and you'll pay attention to these specific numbers here. And the DB number is what you'll actually get as a direct bonus when someone purchases this product from you. So it's incredibly straightforward. It shows them exactly what they'll get. So if you imagine, you can go onto that marketplace, choose the products, click the link, and it will go directly to your social media, or you can embed the link. You can do whatever you want with it. And so it's a very easy, streamlined solution for nano influencers to be able to go in and choose exactly what they want, be able to share it with their audience, and be able to represent their voice, their preferences to the audience that they choose. And so it's going to be a very easy system for them. And it's one of the first times that we've been able to have influencers, social media influencers, and a true affiliate model nested within an MLM industry. And so that's of distinction that I think is so important for all of us to know and recognize that it's very, very difficult for MLM companies to have which is why so many of them go affiliate, is for that exact reason alone. Looks like we got Rod. Rod, do you want to do the customer rewards section? I can kick it to you for that portion. That's the next section coming up since I saw you hop on.
Yeah, you bet. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, perfect. I'll go to the slides. Just let me know when you want the next one.
You bet. Hey, good evening to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us from wherever you're joining us. We had some overlapping Zooms. I was happy to jump on here in the last little bit, so thanks for your patience. What we are conceiving right now and is indeed developing right now, in fact, I was just on a call specifically about this topic, was the Rewards Plus methodology for customers. We think very strongly, we believe very strongly that the most important thing we can do for you as an influencer pro is provide you with a tool set that allows you to talk to everyday people at the level that would inspire them to become part of what we're doing at Shoply. So we have had in the past a rewards platform process where if I'm a customer of one of the members, the promoters of Shoply, and I like a product that I was referred to, and I refer it to somebody else, just a friend of mine who just might become a customer, we would have had reward points that were part of a sort of a wallet system that you could use for future purchases. While we believe strongly in that, we're going to retool it for the 3.0 launch right now, and then we'll revisit that and release it in April of next year. The important thing to look at right now, what we're excited about, is the Rewards Plus side. Because what this is amongst we started looking at the rebates that we could give out to somebody who is a subscribing member as a Rewards Plus member, we thought, okay, this is very, very strong. And I'm going to show you now in the next slide kind of what that can look like compared to some of the industries that we think that we have a very handy competition level with. Of course, membership-based industries, cashback type industries like a card, like when you have a cashback card or whatever, and then of course network marketing or direct distribution markets. When we looked at it in sort of a Venn diagram as shown here, we figured we can compete very, very well. So let's look at that chart so you have a really good grasp on it as to what our strategy is and how you can use it as a leader, as a promoter here in the company. To do a comparison, we'll use three major options from each one of those categories as I spoke about. So in terms of rewards members or cash back companies, look at Rakuten, which is a well-known online e-commerce platform that allows people to earn cash back. Ibotta is similar, and Citibank gives you just the 2% whatever cash back on any purchases you make using Citibank. Okay. Looking at that, Rakuten offers on average 3 to 6% back. Ibotta 2 to 3%. And if you go to the far right, we believe that our rewards back, our rebates back to people will be in the neighborhood of 15 to 30%. Of course, that depends on what the vendor offers, but we believe we could be much, much stronger than anything out there. That's the most important thing to look at. And cash rewards would be significant. Looking over at the next columns over for Amazon, Costco, and Sam's Club, these would be sort of membership clubs, if you will, membership companies, if you will. Amazon having a membership sort of process there, but they don't have cashback rewards or cash rewards of any kind. None of these types of category companies do. But what they do offer is the ability to get book discounts, when Amazon's case free shipping, and of course all three of these have very wide brand variety. Of course, Amazon or anything like that, a type of a platform purchase, has the broadest of all brand varieties in this segment. Going over to MLM companies, network marketing companies, everyone is familiar with Amway and Melaleuca and Market America. We think that these are the ones that might be that we should compare against. Amway has forever created their own products, Melaleuca creating their own products, a single brand with multiple products, but certainly much more limited than, let's say, an Amazon, a Costco, or Sam's Club. Definitely more limited than Rakuten or Ibotta. Very much their vertical. And their commission rates would be, and their average cash rewards rates would be somewhat competitive with ours. We believe we can beat them as well, but they would be in the competitive range. Market America is vendor related and service related. Theirs are much lower. And so the cash rewards, they wouldn't offer those to everybody unless, in our case, the vendor could choose if they wanted to do that. But looking at brand variety, only Market America really has external brands, not everything being their own vertical brand. And then all three have the ability to refer customers and promoters to their platform. The important column for you to look at is the fact that Shoply offers all of those benefits, a few based on what the vendor chooses to do, whether it's an additional cash reward back to a person or free shipping for that purchase. But in terms of being highly competitive in the really important ways, Shoply is there, and that allows us to take whatever is intended to be a direct bonus for somebody who sells a product to a customer. We now give that to a member customer called a Rewards Plus customer as a rebate, and we think that makes us the strongest opportunity, ultimately the biggest and best rebate opportunity in the world. So, Stacy, there's the description for a rebate for the rebates and Rewards Plus customers. Back to you. Think you're muted. Muted, Stacy?
Stacy, you're muted.
There you go.
There we go. Sorry, I had kids walking in, so I muted and then forgot about that. Well, thanks, Rod, for going through that. We're going to kick it now to the next section, which is our last kind of pillar and portion of what Shoply is that we talked about on as an ecosystem. And we're going to have Nick come on and talk to you guys about that. So, Nick, I'll kick it over to you. Do you want me to do slides, or you got them and you'll pull them up?
Oh yeah, I can do them. I can do the slides. That's good. Well, first of all, good evening, everybody. It was great to hear everyone participate here, from Stace to Trisha to our CEO, Mr. Rod Larson. And my biggest question to you is, which segment makes the most sense, right? You got multiple businesses in one. We're going to talk about the team building section literally next, right now. But here's a vehicle where you can find social media influencers that they can take as many direct bonuses on as many products and as many categories as they want. You can bring your own vendors if that's something that excites you. You can merchant or your own store if you have your own products. So you have so many different ways to participate in the ecosystem, but by far the most compelling, the most rewarding, the one with the most upside, etc., is without a doubt the team building approach. And that is what we're focused on the most right now as we're talking to you today, is we're looking for people that have the ability to multiply the network. And Stacey, I lied. I'm having you run the slides because apparently I don't have, I thought I had it up, but I must have blocked. Oh, here it is. I got it. Okay. So let me give you guys an idea of what we mean. The opportunity for team builders. In order to understand the opportunity for team builders, I think you got to look the other direction and say, okay, what has not been working? And, number one is our industry has gone backwards for the last 4+ years. And even though some people have gone from this company to that company or whatever, the global industry as a whole is retracting. And why is that? Well, number one is the gig economy, but number two, which we talked about, is the desire for people to want to become a social media influencer. We believe we created a platform and an incentive plan that meets people in the middle of the desire to be a social media influencer and also the desire to remain a team builder. The opportunity for you to build a team of just customer rewards members all around the world, or the ability for you to build a team of social media influencers that want to get those customers utilizing social commerce and live commerce. The fact that you can literally build your own team around your own purposes. We are a platform of purposes. What product categories do you love the most? What products do you love the most? We're not going to tell you, hey, you have to sell this, or you have to sell this, or you have to sell this. We don't tell you what you have to sell. You decide what you want to sell. Not to mention, you can bring those store owners and get paid for that as well. And you can even be one of those store owners. You could be building your own team, selling your courses, building your own team, selling a product line that you absolutely love. So when you think about the possibilities, there's really no other competitive company that can create such freedom. And lastly, you can do it on a global scale. Because I heard Rod mention this a moment ago. He talked about, yeah, there's companies that have taken 50 years to get all around the world. The problem is it's only one brand. So what if in Brazil you don't like Amway's toothpaste or Melaleuca's shampoo? What if you like that brand? What if you want to buy from a Brazilian company? What if you want 5 different options in toothpaste and 10 different options in cleaning supplies? And what if you want them to be Brazilian-based companies? See, you guys can build a network all over the globe where you've got either social media influencers getting you customers, or you're attracting customer rewards members who are just buying for themselves from localized companies that are already approved, already accepted, already on culture, already on language, already shipping inside that country with competitive offers to other brands localized to that country. That's the opportunity we're talking about right here. And you're on the forefront of the creation of this. You can be one of those top leaders that brings 100 vendors into Europe, 1,000 vendors, not personally, but through your network, 1,000 vendors into Europe, 20,000 customer rewards members, 5,000 social media influencers, Whatever your focus is, you have the ability to do that, and you can do it now inside of Europe and beyond. So we spent today going deep in certain categories. We talked deeply about the influencing world, and deeply about the vendor opportunities, deeply about customer rewards, and deeply about team building. But let's just summarize how simple what we do really is when you're not having a deep business conversation and you're just explaining this in layman terms. Here goes. We've got 6 licenses. They range from $1 to $800. We are a software as a service. Very important. Our company is legally registered as a software as a service. Everybody buys a license. Everybody pays their subscription to the software. It ranges from $1 to $800 one-time license. This Influencer Pro is the person allowed to bring on merchants from Shopify onto our marketplace. So how simple can that be? Looks like this. Influencer Pro says, hey, Shopify store, you need to hop on this marketplace. Download the app. So they download the app. How much is that? $1. So the Shopify store downloads the app. They spend 30 minutes or less onboarding onto our marketplace. All of a sudden, 30 minutes later, that store is live in our marketplace. Our promoters say, wait a second, I like that product. I want to sell that. I like what it offers. They start posting and sharing. It starts driving exposure and brand awareness to that product. A customer says yes. Everybody gets paid. What do you mean? Well, the person who got the customer, the promoter that got the customer, they got paid. The store, they got paid. The team builder, they got paid. The influencer pro who got the vendor, they got paid for that transaction. That's what we mean by an ecosystem. Everybody working together to get customers, and everybody getting their little piece, taking it back from Facebook, taking it back from Amazon, taking it back from Google AdWords, putting it back in the hands of this owner, the customer, the salesperson. Guys, what you do is complicated. Okay, well, is it? Somebody gets a store onto our marketplace, somebody shares that product, somebody buys it. That's complicated? Say it again. Somebody refers a store onto our marketplace, somebody refers that product, somebody buys it. That's what we do. Now, we went deep into a business breakdown of it because you are people of influence looking for a deep business breakdown. But that's how simple what we do is. Then we multiply. We leverage the network effect, which is why you're here. We've got 3 different types of licenses that build teams. What do? They get customers, they get affiliates that get customers, they get other team builders who get customers and get affiliates who get customers. And that's how it multiplies. We get stores who post product, who list products. Our people share those products. Customer says yes, everybody gets paid. We multiply it by finding team builders to go get us other customers and other affiliates who get customers and other team builders. So don't overcomplicate this. And again, when we go deep in the business explanation, not everything is going to resonate with you, but that's the simple explanation of what we do. Now, here's the timing. Right now, we're not taking on merchants. We're not taking on affiliates. We're not taking on customers. The marketplace goes live October 15th. The app goes live September 15th. All we're doing for the next 30 days, we are identifying influencer pros who are currently pre-building, finding other influencer pros to say yes on September 3rd. To show you this in a timeline, from here to here, all we are doing is meeting with, speaking with, sharing, presenting to people of influence. Person that's in business, a person that makes 6 figures a year, a person who's a teacher, a coach, or a pastor. They lead for a living, but maybe they don't get paid like a business person. A person who's good at sales, a person that's good at social media influencing, a person that makes full-time income in direct sales. We're only talking to people of influence between now and September 3rd. On September 3rd, we will all press go at the same time and let the rocket ship take off. 2 weeks later, we'll get our vendors. 30 days later, the marketplace will go live, and we will never look back. Right now, you're just saying yes to a free invitation. But what you're really saying yes to is sharing this idea over the next 3 weeks with as many people of influence as you personally can. Myself and Stacy will be with Trish in London on September 24th at, I believe, 11:30 a.m. is networking, 12 o'clock start time. This is near the London airport. Stacey, if you have any visuals you want to share, be my guest.
Yep. It's the 23rd too, FYI.
All right. Saturday the 23rd. Thank you. Saturday the 23rd. You want to be there, and you want to bring your top 3 business people that you know. This is not for average everyday folks that want to talk about being a customer. It's not for average everyday folks that want to be an affiliate for $1. This is for business people. This is for people of influence. This is for people that know how to lead or manage or sell or create. The person in that room with the most people of influence with them is going to win over the next 120 days. If I were you, I'd walk in there with 3, 5, 7, 10 people of influence. Well, how am I going to get them there? Great question. You're going to work with your leadership. You're going to work with Stacy and I. You're going to work with your local team there to get people in front of the information as much and as quickly as possible so that we can get them out there to that event with you. And then the last few days, you're just going to work on straight invite. Right now, hey, clear your schedule for this date for a couple hours. Now let me explain to you why, and get us in front of them, and we will get them that information. Last thing I'm going to tell you is stay plugged into us. 1 second. If you can, take a screenshot of this or hit it with your cell phone to your computer. Stacy will also put in the chat box a link that you can hit right now. All of our videos go up here. All of our tools get released here. Anything you're looking for is here. So make sure that you have access to this because this is where all the information lies. Now, I'm going to give you my closing thoughts here in just a second. Before I do, I'd love to bring back on Trish to talk about anything she wants to talk about, and I'll give you all my closing thoughts. Miss Trish, thank you for your leadership out in the UK. Thank you for your focus. Whoa. And of course, thank you for your passion. Take us home before I give some closing thoughts.
Thanks, Nick. Well, you've been invited on this call as an influencer and as a leader. And, it only takes one person who takes hold of a unique, timely opportunity to transform a whole culture. And, for many of us who are watching social media right now, we see the Union Jack flags all over the UK. We see Irish flags. UK and Europe is changing. There's a rising up, and it's perfect soil for a Nick Sarnicola to come in right now with this amazing. We've been thinking about something like this for years. If only something like this could come about. And here we have Nick and the team of great disruptors who've stood on tenacious vision for years in a fickle world where most vision is not held. And that's what we have to look forward to. And that's why we're so thrilled, Nick, you're coming over, and we're all revving up to the 23rd Saturday week.
Right. Let's go, guys. The 23rd. Don't just be there. Don't just be there. Be there with your 3. Be there with your 5 and make sure they are people of influence. Now's not the time to talk to the customer. Now's not the time to talk to your 18-year-old nephew who needs a shot. Right now, you need people of influence so that you can lead all of the rest of the people when everything else is released. My closing thoughts are this. Myself, Rod Larson, our 2 other executives, between the 4 of us, we have done collectively over 10 billion in revenue in the direct sales industry. We are not coming here to start Shoply to do something small. We're not coming here to create a little bit of a ripple. We're here to create a tidal wave. And we need the leadership that can do this all over Europe, all over the UK. We need the leadership who gets it, that sees it, that's ready, that wants to lock arms and work hard together. I can't wait to meet you, see you in person. I can't wait to continue to do calls like this. Make sure you say yes to your invitation. Make sure you get into your guest back office. You change your little password there and you start sharing your link like crazy. Identify your top 3 to 5 people of influence as quickly as you can. And I will see you all in London. Thank you so much for your time tonight, guys.